This is a Fenix guitar or Phoenix guitar by Young Chang. It was made, I am told, but not very reliably. The E10 means 1981. Why, I don't know, but that's what they tell me. But if you see these on the market, grab them because they're brilliantly made. One of the better copies of a Fender Telecaster. They are a chunk and a half of weight. I suspect that's because the body is solid mahogany. This one's in very good shape. It has some little bits of places that needs work done. The switch is twisting around, problematical, and the screws are rusted. I'll fix them up. But I haven't heard it yet or played it. I've read some very old posts about these guitars, and people are saying, oh, they're worth 100 quid, they're worth 150 quid. And that was in 2007, 2008. Now you'd be lucky to get a good one like this for under £700, £600-700, because they're very well made by Young Chang, who also made, what was the other guitar he made? Squiers. But the factory put more effort into these guitars and turned them out really well. Everything's on, it's pretty good. And I don't know about the electric chest, but let's get stuck into it. 1981. That's 43 years ago. Looks pretty good to me for 43 years old. These intonators are very clever. They're very similar, but they're all in excellent condition. No rust whatsoever on them. Tell you what I'll do first of all. I'll take off these switches to see what the problem is, because I can't even test it without taking them off. I think it was one of his first guitars that he bought, and I think he made a good choice because these are now collector's items. So, well, there's nothing wrong there. It just is loose. I'll just check to see that everything. A little bit strange to have two capacitors on. Is it a pull push? No, it's not a pull push. It's a 250K pot. So I'm going to say I'm a bit short of 250K. So I wonder what that black stuff is. There's a little. I'll tell you what. There's a crack there. That's why it is. There's a crack there. And the crack goes down, but it's not a crack that. It's not a crack that's going the whole way through the body. It's just a crack going down. Because you can see that this must have been stuck there at some stage, because you can see the smiley face on it. Anyway, we'll see, and I'll fix the black. I'm going to find a potentiometer to replace that with, and I'll come back to you. Let me take you into the lovely world of soldering, which I actually hate because it never goes right for me. It must be just I'm a fluke. But the first thing we have is that the knob won't come off because it's ripped out of the socket, which I will get this off, but I'll let you see what I'm talking about once I get this off, if I get it off. Right, I'm so confident that I'm going to take this off, I put the camera back on again. Let me just see if my confidence is going to be rewarded. Well, look at that, the knob came off. Can you see what I'm pointing out there? That's a rare thing that happens. Hopefully you can see that on the camera. All right, okay. So that's it off. Oh, look, I got a washer out of it. Now, the next big trick, which I'm going to use that washer, is that the pot that I have, which is a 250K pot, it's bigger than the pot that I'm replacing. So I'm just hoping that it will fit in the guitar. So I'm going to take that off and put that in there, and in the hope that it does fit in there. And it does. Okay. So I'm going to solder that together. And what I'm going to try to do now is figure out what this is before I go any further. What is that? Let me just do a test. A little test. Why is that black? This is the original guitar color, I'm pretty sure. So what is that black? I'm using acetone on it to see if I can determine what it is. Did somebody try to put some black paint on it? Well, whatever it is, it's coming off and doesn't seem to be doing any damage. And why do I want it off? Because this switch the chappie called Louis Rossman, and if you go onto his YouTube channel, he fixes circuit boards on iPhones and mostly iPhones and iPads, and he's quite entertaining what he does. And he got me started on soldering, so I bought myself a set of solder to be just like him, but my hands are not as steady as his, so it just was a waste of time for me to do that. So let me just see. I don't think I should be leaving the acetone open while I've got a hot soldering iron in my hand. Right, let's just, and you see I've got a bit of paper beneath it. Okay, shaky hands. Right, okay. Now, this goes there. Sorry, there's somebody calling me. Pause. Now you see how easy it should be. It should be just a matter of putting that wire on that. And it should be just a matter of putting that wire on that. Now, what have we got? Have we got enough? We're going to test it now before I do anything more. Switch the iron off. We're going to test it to see if we've got any noise. And let me plug it in. Oh. And plug it in there. Just to see if we've got the noise we need. Right, everything's working. Right, so I'm going to bolt it all down and come back to you when it's done. Now, when I put it back on again, you could actually see that black line. So I decided to try to take it off with a bit of polish. And I've discovered that it's not a black line. It looks like someone has spilt some ink on it, blue ink. So what I'm getting off it is blue color ink, but it is coming off. But the other thing that I do notice too now, I don't know, can you see it on that camera? Can you see there? Let me just see if you're just out of shot because I'm backwards. See that camera there? Or see it? There's a crack there too, that crack going down. So I think I'm just gonna, when I take the pickguard off, I'll know more what I'm gonna do. But that had to be cleaned off. Sorry for the squeakiness if it annoys you, but I didn't want that little bit of black showing whenever I was putting on the cover, because you can see there's still a couple of little bits of black there, which I'm gonna work out now. I think maybe somebody's tried to bluff it with a bit of paint sometime too, but See what I can do to take it off. Right, there we go. That's it gone. I'm not going to worry about that. Right, okay. Back again later when I've got it all together. Little things that we do. Do you see the little white line there? Just there. Whenever I screw the screw down, that white line becomes visible. Fortunately, I have a marker that has the right color of red, and I can just mark it with it, and then I'll put a little layer of lacquer on it, and no one will ever see it again. Okay, we're now more or less back to where we were before we started, and we know the electrics are working. That's the main thing, and we've got the switches resoldered again. So I'm going to cut these wires off now that I know that we have electrics working. Now let's take the pickguard off to see what lies beneath. I don't expect to see very much at all. What I do expect to see is maybe some foam that's been worn away. Right. Okay, as I say, I don't expect to see an awful lot, and I'm not getting to see an awful lot. Except for what's that and that there. What is that there and that there? That's cracked as well. This is a crack there and a crack there. I don't know why that is the case. And should I do something about it? Let me just look at these pickups. They look okay. But I know they're screwed into the wood, so, and it's leaning forward. I want it to be parallel. So the screws have to come out. I wonder what happened. Oh look, there's a crack up there too. How come I never noticed that crack before? Was it on the, did I not notice that from original? Let me go and check the original video. Now, how stupid am I? Whenever I took that off and set it to the side, I forgot all about it. So I started looking and I saw that crack down. I thought, oh God, that wasn't on the first original. It wasn't on the original because you couldn't see it. It was covered up with the pickguard, and I just automatically saw the crack and said, I didn't see that before. Thought that maybe I did it, but I didn't. No, it's a crack that's the whole way up there. And you just couldn't see it. I don't know why it's cracked there, because it's not cracked any further. Now, I'm going back to this because my panic is over, because I thought I'd done something that cracked the guitar. I didn't. I'm going to take this out now to see what lies beneath, because I need to know why this guitar is cracking. Is it dry? Is it far too dry? Was the wood not mature whenever it was done? It is an old guitar, I know that. Why is this springing up so nicely? Somebody texted me I left my indicators on screws. Usually they just have a bit of lump of foam behind it. Look at the thickness of that pickup. So what do we see here? It's cracked the whole way down in. Let me just move my hand. I don't know if you can see the cracks going down in. It doesn't go right down to the bottom of it, but it's like a crack that way. Right, okay, I'm going to clean up this pickup just because it's chrome and try to figure out why it was leaning to one side. Actually, I can just put it back together again now like this. These things are always awkward to put together again when you take them off. So why did you take them off, Austin? You need 3 hands. Oh, well, I'll clean it first before I put it back on, because there's a bit there I know I won't be able to get the cleaning. I'm hungry. Maybe that's why I'm being stupid. But that worried me there. I thought I did that. Go away, go away. Well, that took 40 minutes to get that back in again, because the magnet on that thing is ferocious, and you're putting a screw in on a bar like that, the screw there, and the screw just goes like that there instantly into the magnet, and the spring flies up. Oh, it took ages. Anyway, I'm not going too much moaning about that. But one thing it does worry me is the cracks. I wonder if the body is doing that. Let me just see if it's, you know, that could be the answer. That could be the answer to why it's doing it. There'd be no answer to the cure. And I'm only just discovering this. Do you see the ruler? Do you see the light under the ruler? It's shaped like that, and I'm pretty sure that should be flat. I'm pretty sure. Let me just bring it up here so you can see it. I'm going to send out one of the Fenix forums and ask them if their guitar is like that too, because I do think that that light shouldn't be showing. It should be flat. Now, if the front of the guitar is the opposite way, it is. Right, okay, so the body of the guitar is doing that, so yeah, there's a rock and roll there, and there's a rock and roll there, so the body of the guitar is doing that. And why would it be doing that? So the only thing I have to do is to clean this up, and it's cleaning up lovely. I wonder, should I stick some super glue in there? What good would it do? And there, and there, and there. It's not going to do any good whatsoever. If anything, it'll add some moisture to it, maybe force it apart in a fraction of a way, not in a serious way. I'm going to replace the screws now with brand new screws because it just needs to be lifted up. Let me just check that pickup height to make sure it's not. Yeah, it's about right. Put some brand new screws in. I bought these by 200 or 300. They're going down fairly quickly though. Next thing to do is the neck. Okay, we're going to do the neck now. I see one little thing I need to do is that when they painted this in the factory, they didn't block off the truss rod plastic when they were lacquering it, so the lacquer is on the truss rod cover. That's not a big deal, but it just looks unsightly when the guitar gets old, and so I'll just remove it from inside at least anyway. It'd be very hard to get a lacquer that will stick to plastic. Starting to come off the outside too, but I know I'd be cruising for a bruising if I started to take that off, because you don't know where that's going to stop going around the outside. Okay, the neck. Let's check it for leveling first. Well, let's check it for straightness. Did I do that? God, I can't remember. F for Fender. I would think this is a Fender one. It's got an overbow, which is something I don't tend to like, because the middle's higher than the two ends, which means that you get the top fret string really low and it's going to buzz there. So I'm going to, hopefully the truss rod's working. I don't see any reason why it should not be. Interesting, Sweden, you think of wood in Sweden. And if you think of wood in Sweden, you'd think that'd be the best quality wood, and if there's something wrong with that guitar body, it has to be the wood, if anything. Let's just check it now to see where we are. That's perfectly straight, but it's not. I don't want perfectly straight. I want a slight underbow if anything. Just perfect. Just the slightest bit of underbow. They got lacquer inside the bolt as well, so that's what was coming off whenever I was turning it. So that's better. I might try to do something with the edge of that with a little bit of lacquer against it to try to stop the, see that little tiny bit? That'll come off, and it might come off, start coming off across the whole head. So I'll put, actually let's just do it. That little white spot's gone because it was loose, and this will glue it together almost. So let's get the leveler out to see how the neck lift is working, and I'll speed this up unless I find something. Wasn't expecting to find something so quick. Okay, so there, and there. And I think what I'm going to do is just use the block on it. Okay, that's the neck done. It don't get no lemon oil because it's high gloss, and just be wasting lemon oil to put it on it because it won't get to it. So I used 1000 grit sandpaper just to give the frets a polish. What's that on top of that? I just see some yellow there. Let me just see why I see yellow. Why do I see yellow there? Where's my fine glasses? I don't know whether you can see yellow there, but I can see yellow. Let me look at it closely. Let me just get a little bit of this sandpaper just to go over the top of it. Yeah, it's just some yellow surface, whatever it was. I'm not going to go crazy on it. Yeah, just take away that yellow that was sitting on top of it. It was almost like it was a lacquer, but I can't see them putting lacquer on that. But maybe they did. Maybe they did. Maybe they did. Maybe they did. Special tool to check the nuts with. It's called a nut checking tool. Other people call it a socket set. There we go. Must have been greasy, grimy dirt. Grease and grime and dirt in just a minute. Mr. Clean will clean your whole house and everything that's in it. Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Mr. Clean was a bald. I think Mr. Clean is still in America. I think he's still doing the rounds. Cartoon character with a bald head who cleaned your house. Mr. Clean will clean your whole house and everything that's in it. Mr. Clean will clean your whole house. Oh, I forgot the words now. It'll come to me anyway. In just a minute.
Meet Mr. Clean, Procter & Gamble's new all-purpose liquid cleaner.
Mr. Clean gets rid of dirt and grime and grease in just a minute.
Mr. Clean will clean your whole house and everything that's in it.
Floors, doors, walls, halls, white sidewall, tires, and old golf balls.
Sinks, stoves, bathtubs he'll do. He'll even help clean laundry too.
Mr. Clean gets rid of dirt and grime and grease in just a minute.
Mr. Clean will clean your whole house and everything that's in it. Can he clean a kitchen sink?
Quicker than a wink.
Can he clean a window sash?
Faster than a flash.
Can he clean a dirty mirror?
he'll make it bright and clearer.
Can he clean a diamond ring?
Mr. Clean cleans anything. Mr. Clean gets rid of dirt and grime and grease in just a minute. Mr. Clean will clean your whole house and everything that's in it. Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Right, we're ready now for, what are we ready for? A cup of coffee and a biscuit and some strings to go on it. So we'll pause now and we'll do the strings tomorrow, because I think it's 10:30 at night now. Now the bit to pay attention to is down there. That's the bit that I have worked on, but I've used gel nail polish and have used some blue light on it, right, to harden it. But as you'll see, it still has a lump on it. So what I'm going to try to do, which I haven't done before, is I'm going to try to smooth that down. Now it's gel, it's not what you call that rock hard stuff, it's gel. So be interesting to see how I get that down and flat. The intention, this is falling apart, which was on that. It's actually ripping apart, and you can see. The intention I'm going to try to do is, if I can't get that flat, I'm going to use a bit of black tape coming down there to there, and then I'm going to bring it to a, I don't know, you can't see it, but I'm going to bring it there and bring it to a point, make it look like a design feature. Okay, there you go. I put the black tape on, and as you can see, it has a sort of a Starsky and Hutch look about it too, and I put it to a point at the bottom. I think that looks a little bit more professional than yellow tape, but if the client doesn't like it, I saved the yellow tape, he can put it back over again. Now the yellow tape could be sentimental to him, you never know, his daughter might have put it on or something like that, so that's why I won't throw it away. But it's easy to put it back on again. Now I've given it a bit of polish, but I'll be polishing forever. Strings aren't done yet. I've just got one little bit in the back that I don't like the look of, which I'm going to try to polish out. And can you see that there? Yes, you can see it there. That could be just dirt, but and I hope it is, but it looks scruff beside it. Oh, he's in luck, he's in luck. It is just dirt, so that's okay. I thought it was maybe a scratch that I was going to fix. Yeah, he's a lucky man. He's a lucky man. I also was able to use the gel, because it's a very close match to this, on a lot of little dings and stuff like that there. And I fixed a lot of the little dings with the gel and the ultraviolet light. So now I'm going to plug it in. Just check, get it tuned, check the intonation. If I find anything exciting to tell you while I'm doing that, I'll come back on again. But you've seen me tuning a guitar about 1,000,000 times. Well, there you go. The Fenix, whatever you want to call it. It's looking great. Frets are done. Everything's done there. The frets are all nice and shiny and polished, and I'll avoid that wood. The body got a Starsky and Hutch feel to it now with the black stripe, and everything's working on the body, and even the tail looks good with that little bit of a pointy thing on it, and the back. I would take that sticker off, but it's not my job to take stickers off. There's also a sticker up top that says stop, but those could be sentimental, so there you go. Let me just check to see it's still in tune, because I've been waving it about here. The intonation had a little tweak to it. The action needed to be brought down. It was too high. And I think I could probably bring it down a bit more, but I made that mistake in the past, and people who play with their thumbs get buzzed. So let's just check this. Why I would take the Fender off, because I think this is a better guitar than the Fender. Everything about it's quality, and I love it. You know, it's just a great little guitar. think I could probably bring it down a bit more there, but to do that, I have that right down flat almost. I'd have to put a shim in the neck, but I don't think it's the kind of guitar that's going to be played crazily, and I can't play it crazily anyway, so that's not a problem, you know. I'm just trying to let you hear the different tones. I've got the fuzz on. So you get the rock and rolly sound. And then you get a little bit of smoother. It's a lovely guitar if I could just get the fingerprints to stop staying on it, but it's going back to its daddy now, and I'll give him back the parts and everything like that, so it had a polish all around, and there you go, it's going back to its daddy now. I don't know what my favorite chord would sound like on an amplifier with fuzz on it. Let's try it. I like it. Another good solid guitar and worth a few pounds and looks good.